Hi everyone, I'm Carol Mastriani, founder of Be Your Influence, a company where I work with individuals and groups who want to consciously create their reality by making a transformative shift in some aspect of their life so that they're able to show up and be mindful, thoughtful, and present in all aspects of their life. One of the things I absolutely love to do is to work with women and do offer a vision board experience. It is a day where they are able to focus on themselves and gain clarity on their dreams and desires. Once the day is over and the vision board has been made, I end up working individually with some of the women who really want to identify their blocks and create an action plan so they're able to face their limiting beliefs and other challenges that may come up when they're actually working with their vision board. So this can really be a truly transformative experience. Now, I am sure some of you are thinking, Carol, really? It's a vision board. What's the big deal? You take a poster board, slap on some pictures, add some glitter. I mean, everything's better with glitter, right? And dark chocolate, of course. So why would anyone need support of a coach after doing a vision board? Well, this is often a common misperception of vision boards and why I was excited when the Alliance's World of Wellness Committee invited me to share about how to harness the power of a vision board. Because these are power-filled manifestation tools that work with the law of attraction when approached appropriately. So I'm going to cover in terms of what a vision board is, what are the different ways you can use it, who can create them, why you would create them, in terms of the different steps you go through. And then I'm going to really get into the reason I am really here is to talk about harnessing the power of vision boards, because that work is really in the pre and post part of the vision board process. So what is a vision board? It literally is a visualization tool that represents your goals, dreams, and desires through pictures and words. Now, vision boards can have different themes. They could have, for example, it could be health, it could be wealth, it could be career, it could be relationships, finances, personal growth, travel, home, the ideal pet, an athletic outcome, job search, or other projects. It could be individually any one of these things, or it could be what I like to do during my vision board experiences is do a create your life vision board, which takes in the key aspects of your life all on that one board. So basically, anyone who has goals, dreams, or desires is a great candidate to create a vision board. And I would say that as young as in elementary school, someone can create a vision board all the way up until your later years. So that could be individuals, it could be a family. This is a great family activity to do, especially with everything we've been going through in 2020. Our lives have really been turned upside down, and I think a lot of hope has kind of gone away. So this would be a really good time just to re-engage everyone in the family in a positive, forward-looking activity. I absolutely love it when children create their vision boards, children, this would be elementary, middle, high school, because this allows you as a parent to get an inside look into what your child truly desires, and then you can support them in what's meaningful to them and not maybe what is more meaningful to you. I also have worked with businesses in terms of business teams, with boards of directors. You can use the same vision board type approach. We take a little bit different more strategic business focus on it and do a little bit different kind of a board. So why would anyone want to create a vision board? I mean, there's so many planning tools where you can put your goals, your action plan, everything you're going to do. Well, the one thing that makes a vision board a little bit different is it taps into the law of attraction, which then can amplify your results. So what is law of attraction? I'm sure many of you have heard of it back when the movie The Secret came out. And really, it's just you will attract into your life whatever you focus on. Another way of looking at this is where attention goes, energy flows. So for example, recently I needed to replace my car. And like most of us do, you figure out, well, what kind of car you want, what color you want, and then you get that car. Well, anyways, I ended up picking this one color blue that I hadn't seen anywhere else. And wouldn't you know, once I got that car, all of a sudden these cars are everywhere. How could they have been everywhere? I never saw it before. And on top of it, there are four right now in my neighborhood. I mean, although I have a roof rack and they don't, but still, I walk my dogs all the time. How did I not see this car? This really shows where attention goes, energy flows. I really like how Jack Canfield sums up the law of attraction related directly to the vision board. So by representing your goals with pictures and images, you will actually strengthen and stimulate your emotions because your mind responds strongly to visual stimulation. And your emotions are the vibrational energy that activates the law of attraction. So what does it mean by by vibrational energy? Well, here's an example. Let's say we're all in a conference room and someone comes to the door and they are really angry. They don't even have to say anything, and we'll be able to feel that angry energy come off of them. Well, let's go to the other end of the continuum. Let's say you're having kind of a down day and you end up being around someone who is really optimistic, they're really energetic, they're just very motivational. All of a sudden, you go from feeling down to feeling pretty darn good. So these are just two examples of how vibrational energy can be seen because we're all energetic beings. And so this is what the law of attraction taps into. Now, what I am going to do right now is I'm going to share my screen because I want to move into to show you the different ways you can create a vision board. So let me go and click here, click share. I'm getting so much better at this. Hopefully everyone can see this. So the first way is really the OG of creating vision boards, and that is using poster board. And so what I'm going to do is as I'm walking through the different types of vision boards, I'm going to also walk through the 8-step process in terms of creating a vision board. So right here, the first step is you're going to sort. And basically you get a stack of magazines and you go through and just anything that calls to you, you rip it out of the magazine. Words, pictures, whatever it is. And you put it aside. Now you can also go online, you can print out things, you can go to your personal pictures, you can put those aside too. So that's step one. And then step two is sorting. So right now, as you can see on the screen, one of my vision board participants came back to where she was working, and now she has a stack of all of these things that she pulled out of the magazine. So she's going to sort through them. Now, sorting is where the discernment comes in, because now you need to decide. I mean, you only have so much real estate on a vision board, and yes, it's kind of collagey if that's the way you want to make it. However, you really want things that not only speak to your heart, they also speak to whatever theme or whatever it is that you are trying to manifest. The third step is, in this next picture, is arrange. So now you can see one of the other participants a little further along in the process, and you can see that her board is starting to take shape. And also look at all those words. It's really great to add in words to the poster board, because that's something that will speak to you in terms of, how you want to show up. Now, the fourth step is to paste. So once you have it all laid out, then you're going to paste it. And then step five is decorate. That's where the glitter, remember the glitter, everything's better with glitter. Well, it doesn't have to just be glitter. It can be whatever it is that you want. I also recommend in step 6 is to add a picture of you and put that right in the center, or if it's a family board, add a picture of your family. So now, as you can see right there, ta-da, we have a completed board. So now step 7 is display and step 8 is act, which we're going to get into in just a few moments. So that's the first one, poster board. Now, the second type of board is PowerPoint, and this is one that I created. And you can use any online tool that will let you manipulate images and words so you can create something and then save it as a photo, a JPEG, or any other type of photo. So anyways, what I did is I just used for a PowerPoint, I just use one slide. And so I follow the same process, except I'm not flipping through magazines. I'll be flipping through the internet. I'll be flipping through my photos. I will pull them all in, put them on the slide. Then I arrange them. No pasting, which is kind of nice because that can get a little messy at times. And then I add in words. So for example, what I did here is I created this right before I hosted my first live Create Your Life Vision Board experience for women. And I was in a new location. So as you'll notice, you don't see my photo in the center of this, but it is down right in the center in the front of the room that I was going to be in. And then I added in, I had my marketing, the banner from one of my marketing pieces right there. And then I put words in terms of what I wanted, how I wanted this day to be for the women. I wanted it to be powerful. I wanted them to have connection with each other. I wanted it to be transformative, life-changing, best day ever. I wanted it to be love-based. I wanted to have 20 people say, I am in. I wanted them to be inspired. I also wanted to create a sacred space. So you kind of get the idea of how this works. So now the third type is list visioning. And list visioning is, we don't always have time to go and do the poster board or the PowerPoint way. So I needed to, a few years back, I needed to find a new place to live. So I literally took in the back of my journal is I wrote out everything, my ideal place, what would it have? What would this home have? And everything that I needed for my family at that time. And as you can see, this is where number 8, act, I actually was working right with that list because you can see up, I think the second line, I started crossing stuff off. I also started adding different things. But the whole point of this is it does not have to be a laborious process. You can simply just write down what it is you're looking for and then keep going back to it and working with that. Another way is foldering. And basically you can have on your phone, you can have it on your computer, is you just have a special folder set up, put in all of the images, words, to whatever it is, the type of theme of your vision board in terms of what your goals, dreams, and desires right there. And then you just go in the folder and you can just flip through the different pictures. I've also seen people, now these are the 4 ways I have done it. I also know that sometimes people use index cards. So really the sky is the limit in terms of how you can do this. So let me stop share. We'll get back together here. And just a second, there we go. So now let's move into actually harnessing the power of a vision board. And let's start off by talking about manifestation. So essentially, it's bringing something tangible into your life through attraction and belief. Once again, law of attraction and belief. And I like to really, I guess, to harness this process, it's in the pre and the post work. So let's talk about what you're going to do before you even sit down to create your vision board. Now, this is the process I take clients through who sign up to go through the vision board experience with me, either as a group or individually. And I use something that I call a dream sheet tool, and it really helps my clients gain deeper insight and clarity. So for example, they're going to sit down and journal in terms of, and I actually have a sheet for them, deciding on what it is they want to create and why they want to create it. Some of the other things they'll think about in terms of, what would you like to accomplish 1 year from now? Another question could be, what are 3 obvious changes you have made that you are super proud of? Or what is 1 great big dream that you would be thrilled to manifest? I also encourage participants to look into their habits, look into what ones are serving them, what ones aren't serving them, because truly this process, we can get in the way of ourselves. And generally when we're creating a vision board is because we want to up level our lives in some way. So that means we need to up level ourselves from the inside out, which gets to my next segment of this is the be, do, have dreamscape. So often when a person maybe thinks about doing a vision board, you think about what you want to have, which wanting something that's externally focused. And if we haven't actually created a solid foundation within ourselves, we may not be able to acquire that thing that we want to have. So I like to start participants or clients out with be. Who it is that you want to be, how it is you want to show up in your life. That's the first one. You journal about that. The second step is what you want to do. So for example, it could be something as simple as, you want to travel, or you want to be a teacher, or you want to be an athlete. So you just write about what it is you want to do. And then the third part is what you want to have. Now, this is something, don't judge what you may want to have. This is your board. And this is something that get out of the way of the guilt and shame that could go around with maybe wanting to have a super cool car or a really great house or even a new wardrobe, whatever those kind of things are. Don't worry about what other people think. You do you. This is your vision board. This is your life. And this is your process. Now, before doing any of this pre-work, I always encourage people to meditate. This doesn't have to be an hour meditation. Ideally, it's just taking 5 minutes. And whether it's sitting quietly or actually some people like doing moving meditation, it's really about, the whole point is it's about us living so often horizontally in our lives. We get scattered and splattered. And so what it is meditation for this type of activity. It's about gathering our different scattered and splattered pieces that we want to bring back into us, bringing them back into the vertical and back to center. Because so much of this work, it's really work that comes from the inside out. And you need to shut out all of those extra distractions. So just get quiet for even 5 minutes. If you want to put on some music, do that. Do whatever works for you, but each step, and even before you do your vision board, just get quiet, get centered, and then start working on it. Another part of the process I do in my vision board experience is a release. What's going to happen when you're doing this type of work prior to it? You're going to come up with things that you realize no longer serve you. And I find doing a ceremonial type process is a great way to actually show on a visual way that you're drawing the line. And it's like, okay, I am done with this. So basically what I have people do is you'll write on a sheet of paper. It doesn't have to be grammatically correct. You can use flash paper if you want. And just write anything that you no longer want to have in your life. Anything, whatever it is. And then I always add this or anything else that I may have not thought of. Actually, normally I say that a lot better than I just did. But anyways, you get the gist of it. It's like, you get the gist of it. You want to have the last disclaimer statement that's, that says, just in case you forgot anything, all of what I wrote and anything else that I need to release. There we go. Goodness gracious. Sometimes it can be a struggle. What can I say? So what you want to do then is you're going to either burn it or you're going to shred it or you're going to throw it away. Now, does that mean that whatever you put on that paper is magically poof, gone? You no longer have issues with it? No. However, by doing it in this visual ceremonial way, it's going to be a lot more profound experience in terms of you moving forward from that point and being willing to release attachment to that. So when I talked about in the beginning about how when someone gets done with a vision board and maybe they want to sign up for the one-on-one experience of coaching to really work through some things, I'm just going to share with you a few ways that we get in our own way and we don't even realize it. So the first thing is you may or may not be aware that as a human, we think anywhere from 60,000 to 70,000 thoughts a day. And 90% of them are the same thoughts we had the day before. This leaves us with 10% new thoughts. So why does this matter? Well, basically, when you think from past memories, you can only create past experiences. Now, add on to this the fact that thoughts are the language of the brain, feelings are the language of the body, and we operate on a conscious level, being conscious, present, very aware, only 5% of our day. 95% of our day is operated on the non-conscious level. So what does this mean? It means that we react to a lot of things because our body has body memory. For example, have you ever driven somewhere and let's say you just do it, even if you go to work, you drive back and forth to work so many times you can practically do it in your sleep, although not recommended. But have you ever had times it's like that you're not fully present? You're listening to your podcast, your music, you're listening to your thoughts, all of a sudden you arrive at work. Well, that's just an example of non-conscious habitual behavior. Now there's also things that when we have experienced trauma, whether it's a big T trauma or a little t trauma, that they actually get held on a cellular level in our body. And for example, let's say you grew up as a child in your home, there was a lot of arguing, a lot of fighting, a lot of yelling. And what ends up happening is because maybe that's never been dealt with, it's been stored somewhere in your body. That when you find yourself now as an adult in situations where there's arguing, yelling, you're going to react in a way where maybe you start perspiring, maybe you start trembling, maybe you start to cry, maybe you just want to exit the situation. Well, these are just examples of how because we're not conscious of it until we actually identify that this habit is happening. And then this is just another way that we can get in our own way. So, furthering on with harnessing the power of vision board, let's talk about manifestation. And really, manifestation is essentially bringing something tangible into your life through attraction and belief. It's where the law of attraction marries into the manifestation process. And we've actually already talked about some of the ways in terms of to manifest, but let's just go through them here. Now, manifesting is a verb. It's when we're energetically co-creating with universe or whatever it is you call the higher limit. So you want to set a goal. You want to get clear. You ask for what you want. Then in terms of, so you have your vision board, you want to actively work towards that goal. And that's really where the coaching comes in, or coming up with your own action plan in terms of what are the steps you need to attain that goal. Another aspect of this is being present, focused, and in gratitude. By being in gratitude, and by being in gratitude prior to the demonstration, prior to the manifestation of your goal, this already sets a high energetic, high vibrational energy between you and what it is you want to manifest. Did you know that one of the highest vibrational phrases that we can say is thank you? Just say thank you. I feel my heart opening up when I say thank you. Visualization is another thing. I mean, obviously, we're looking at our board, which is very important, but think about in terms of even visualizing just on your own, really feeling what it is like to attain that dream. Athletes use this process all the time where they'll feel the sweat on their body. They'll feel the wind. If they're a runner, let's say, the wind blowing on them as they're racing down the track. When we get into that level, it's like we're one. We're one with our goal at that point. Another piece that's important in terms of harnessing the power of a vision board is being flexible. And being flexible is being open to something that's better. We may not always know what is the best for ourselves. We may have limited thinking in terms of what it is that we can actually bring into our lives. So just be open and be flexible with the process. One of the quotes that really reminds me of the post vision board process is, life begins at the end of your comfort zone. And this is really where your vision board is going to probably be a little bit of a stretch for you. You don't want to splatter. You don't want it to be too far off. Otherwise, energetically, you're not going to be able to connect to it. But you do want to stretch. This is where the up level process comes in. And this is also where some resistance comes in. So, as I mentioned, this can be a transformative process if you so desire. As a matter of fact, the first time I ever created a vision board, it was actually in a therapeutic setting. I was in my early 20s. I was going through a major upheaval in my life. I just had, my parents were both deceased. I was raising my younger sister. I thought that I was going to become an international flight attendant. And then by the time I was 25, I wanted to be a fashion buyer in New York City. Well, all of my dreams were shattered when my parents died. And when I stepped up, of course, I would never not want to make my same decisions. But when I started to raise my younger sister, and what this vision board did for me is it helped me regain some clarity. It helped me regain some focus. And it also provided me with some hope for the future. So why am I even sharing this story with you? Because 2020 feels like it did back when I was 19, when my dad died. And it just, so many other things happened where life kind of imploded. 2020 kind of feels like it's imploding. It's the year of stuff you just can't make up. So that's why I think no better time than the present to create a vision board for yourself, to do something where you can get excited, where you can start dreaming again, where you can start planning again, and just really regain some of the joy back in your life. Now, there's always going to be opportunities to do deeper work with these vision boards. And it really, like I mentioned, it should be a stretch. And that means you're actively working on it and you're working with yourself so you can see this come to fruition. It's also about setting intentions and saying yes to those intentions. Even just as soon as you make, let's say you're done watching this video and you say, gosh, I really want to make a vision board. Right there, you're already made an energetic shift for you. Yay. So, like I said, working with a vision board is not a static process. This is something you're going to interact with your vision board. I highly recommend you at least look at it once, if not twice a day. Put it in a prominent spot in your home. And if you want to really boost that manifestation energy and you've done feng shui, depending on what theme your vision board is, I suggest put it in your success direction, your relationship direction, love direction, whatever. Also, one of the things I always recommend is to do the power stance when you are looking at your vision board. And it's really the Wonder Woman pose. So, guys, I thought about it. You can't do the Superman pose because it ends up, it closes off your heart, and you need to be fully engaged from your core of your being with your vision board. So just we all are made up of feminine, masculine energy. Just get in touch with your feminine and do this Wonder Woman pose. Basically what you're going to do is you stand with your feet shoulder width apart, firmly grounded into the ground. You're going to put your chest out, your shoulders back, your fists on your hips, and you stand in your power. Just even feel the flap of that cape behind you as you engage looking at your vision board and really thinking about and just visualizing what your life is going to be like and how it's going to feel to have all of these things come into fruition for you. Another piece of harnessing the power of a vision board is paying attention to synchronicities. This is where being very intentional, being very present, focused in your day can really come into can be handy. Because, for example, let's say that you get a random phone call. It really isn't a random phone call. It's from someone who has something to do with something on your board. Or you run into someone you haven't seen in forever. Or maybe you won't run into them now, maybe you'll see them on social media. Also, seeing information, that's another thing. Some people see number combinations, others may see a feather, or maybe they'll see a butterfly or a certain bird. There's all different things that can communicate with us if we just pay attention. Finally, trust the process. Release all attachment to the outcome, knowing that this or something better will occur for you and for your highest good. So we've covered in terms of what a vision board is, who should make it, the different themes, the different steps in it, the different aspects of harnessing the power of your vision board, how the pre and the post work is so important, how a coach could actually support you through a lot of this post work. And if you are interested in receiving my tip sheet on how to create a vision board, please email me at info@beyourinfluence.com, info@beyourinfluence.com. Otherwise, I am envisioning the brightest and the best for you. Thank you.